Gayatri Maha-Mantra, Sat Sat. With your back straight, both hands on the laps, left beneath the right one. Contemplative state. Om Bhurabhuvaha Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yonah Prachodayat. Om Bhurabhuvaha Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yonah Prachodayat. Om Bhurabhuvaha Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yonah Prachodayat. Guru Vandana. The invocation of Adi Guru Muni Vedvyas, the one who compiled Shrimad Bhagavad Gita. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deva Maheshwarai, Guru Deva Sakshat Par Brahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Nama, Akhand Mandalakaram, Vyaptam Yena Characharam, Tatpadam Darshitam Yena, Tasmai Shri Guruve Nama, Om Shri Guruve Nama, Avahayami Sthapyami, Dhyayami Pujyami, Tato Namaskaram Karomi. Although that today we embark upon the 5th chapter of Shrimad Bhagavad Gita, yet it is pertinent for me to first elaborate a bit upon the Gayatri Maha-Mantra that was recited right at the outset of the program, followed by the invocation of the Guru. Gayatri Maha-Mantra, according to the ancient Indian wisdom, is believed to be the mother of the Vedas. It appears quite weird that how is it possible that a compilation of a scripture could be termed as owing a mother. How could Vedas have a mother? Because generally what we understand is, devoid of act of procreation, the kids are not born, be it the animal kingdom, the bird, reptiles, human, whatever. The confusion comes to the mind, how do we say that Gayatri Maha-Mantra is the mother of the Vedas? It's for the reason because Gayatri Maha-Mantra, it contains in itself an invocation of far-sighted wisdom. And wisdom alone ensures that the seat of understanding can manifest the knowledge, the right knowledge. Manifestation of knowledge, the right knowledge, is a task that is dispensed by a seat of understanding which is far-sighted, accommodative. The term that we assign to a far-sighted wisdom in Sanskrit is pragya. So Gayatri is pragya, because for a human being to excel in this human life, to cherish one's objective, it's mandatory to make the right decisions. The decision-making process of a human being has to be apt in consonance with its objective. Therefore, it is said that Gayatri is the ultimate mantra. It is always kept and revered at the zenith of all the mantras. So Gayatri Maha-Mantra is an invocation of the divine interference right at the seat of one's understanding. The last word of the Gayatri Maha-Mantra is Prachodayat. I'm not going into the word by word translation, but merely trying to give a very pertinent point to it. That is the last word, Prachodayat, which means that I don't seek your guidance. I seek your intervention to drive me through, to take me over, to ride me, by not leaving anything to me alone. I may deviate. There are chances for me that I may be vulnerable to certain aspects where deviation may come. So leaving nothing to me, I seek your intervention, direct intervention to drive me. Gayatri Maha-Mantra is not exactly a prayer where we yearn to seek something. It's a direct and a blunt invocation of Almighty's interference at the seat of one's understanding. That is why Gayatri Maha-Mantra is atop all other mantras. Gayatri Maha-Mantra has got its true essence in the form of its scientific relevance. Our great masters of the ancient times had discovered by their observation in the parlance of the consciousness, the journey that they traverse at the end of their consciousness through their transcendental meditations, that this entire cosmos is a constitution of 24 subtle forces. Those 24 subtle forces that constitute the entire visible and the invisible world, each force owes its origin to a vibration. Now, this sounds quite interesting for people who must have studied in the physics and in the quantum physics. We do understand that the origin of the matter is atoms. And the origin of the atom, if you scale it further backward, it goes down to the ultimate vibration. The vibrations oscillating at different frequencies appear to be different matter. And those 24 constituents that act as the source to all the vibrations that comprise the entire cosmic dance, their connivance makes the manifestation possible of the visible and invisible, are 24 in number. They're not 23 and they're not 22 and they're not 25 or 26, they're 24. Each force has its vibratory source. It is denoted and understood by a vibration. Gayatri Maha-Mantra is a punctuation of 24 such vibratory forces. Although the Gayatri Maha-Mantra, it starts from Om Bhur Bhuva Swah. Om Bhur Bhuva Swah merely is a praise to the Almighty's existence. It just makes a mention to the features of that Almighty. It's the source of all enrichment. When it manifests, the ignorance dissipates. When it manifests, everything becomes blissful. Bhuvah, Bhur Bhuvah Swah. The actual Gayatri Maha-Mantra of 24 forces, the 24 vibratory letter, starts from Tat onwards up to Prachodhyat. Each and every single letter, it indicates the origin of a specific vibration. It's a big science. It's a voluminous science which probably cannot be acquired in one life, because the bookish knowledge is one aspect and the experiential part of it is another. To be able to experience whatever has been professed by those great ancient masters requires an evolution of a soul to lives and lives together. So Gayatri Maha-Mantra, the prominence of it in the ancient Indian belief system is magnanimous. The second invocation was of the Guru, Muni Ved Vyas, the author of several epics and scriptures, and the primarily one Mahabharata. The moment we invoke the Guru, the mantra contains a spirit into it, and the spirit is the abode of the Guru. The abode of a Guru is not confined to animate, it may be inanimate as well. Generally, we understand that the Guru is a human, but here in this invocation, it is mentioned clearly, beyond an iota of doubt, that a Guru is a source of knowledge, guidance, inspiration, not confined to animate. It may reach out to inanimate, and it pervades and permeates into the entire existence. It's there in the of the cosmos. The term Akhand Mandalakaram, it makes a meaning of the indivisible, infinite elliptical orbits that constitute this entire cosmos. It pervades and permeates all over, and it's there in animate and inanimate. That's the abode of a Guru. So a Guru is not confined to human existence. Whatever comes through even the human existence is ultimately a message of a divine intuit that is passed through a conduit that appears to be a human. It may not confine to human. At times, we get inspiration within our own self. We get blissful thoughts and guidance within ourselves. We get guided by certain movements outside, maybe from a piece of paper that prints some kind of a content that inspires us. It acts as a beacon to all the rugged paths of one's life. So, after the invocation of the Guru, I must make a mention. Since today we are starting the chapter 5 of Shrimad Bhagavad Gita, it becomes important for me to detail certain other aspects. Mahabharata. The word Bha denotes emotion. Maha means the highest, the greatest, and Rata. Rat means immersion. Something that absorbs or always is immersed. Mahabharat, always immersed into the emotions of the highest esteem. It's therefore that India owes its original name as Bharat, a nation where we always remain immersed into the emotions of the highest esteem. Mahabharat was an epic that was created by Vyasa during unknown times. It is mentioned at places that Mahabharat probably was scripted by Vyasa 5,000 years ago. According to my understanding, that concludes after watching certain facts that have now surfaced, a new unraveling has occurred. Some astrologer or an astronomer probably observed an arrangement of the constellation in Mahabharat and proclaimed that the source, the era of the Gita was 5,000 years ago. But factually, something different appeared few years back. There was a team of excavators that plunged down into the sea at the bottom of Dwarika. Dwarika is a submerged city, ancient submerged city on the eastern Ghats of India, on the western Ghats of India. Dwarika, that the team that was under exploration, it conducted a carbon test of the remnants of Dwarika, and they revealed that the carbon test proved that the remnants are 32,000 years old. So therefore, the one statement that professes or proclaims that Shrimad Bhagavad Gita is merely 5,000 years old, its compilation or scripting was done 5,000 years ago, probably is now confronted with another fact that has recently surfaced and empirically proved as well. So, Mahabharat, originally it is known that it was merely a compilation of 8,800 verses. Just because the interpretation had to detail its nitty-gritty and its own complex content to commoners, lot of allegory, simile and metaphors were assigned and added to it. The original compilation of 8,800 verses then inflated further to 100,000 verses as we have it today. Had it not been Adiguru Shankaracharya, the world today would have never cited, observed Shrimad Bhagavad Gita, because Adiguru Shankaracharya extricated these 700 verses of Shrimad Bhagavad Gita out of that voluminous compilation of 100,000 verses. I can say it that 700 verses had almost asphyxiated within or compressed within 100,000 verses. So the entire credit of surfacing, unraveling, unleashing Gita before the mind of today goes to Adiguru Shankaracharya. And it's also a fact, before Adiguru Shankaracharya, we do not find any kind of a commentary on Gita or a mention on Shrimad Bhagavad Gita, though Mahabharata appears to be and is accepted as a text in Indian scriptures. Now Gita is chapters. It is spread into chapter. According to the allegory, it is observed that it is a dialogue that transpired between two friends, or rather a master and a disciple, a teacher and a student, right amidst the chaotic stage of a warfare, where all arsenal were blowing apart across the lines, and amidst of it, the soldier, the one of the most prominent soldier, underwent a dissuasion. He got deluded, and under the impel of delusion, he refrained, abstained to fight, wage a war. This is a sense that we gather from the story. But in fact, as I observe it by studying more and more, without putting any challenge to the story aspect, I observe that the Arjuna is not merely a personification, it's much more. To me, it appears to be a character that is timeless. It indicates the dichotomy, confusion, and bewilderment within amidst any warrior of any time. Arjuna is a timeless character. It prevails into you, into me. We all have certain faculties of many abilities. We all have complexities in life. We all have shortfalls. We always are vulnerable to several problems. We all are there. Dichotomy, conflict, confusion does not confine to any one person. It's there with everybody. The forms and the size may differ. Likewise, there is no limit to the inspiration, learning, blissful thoughts and experiences. And Krishna appears to me as a source of that divine intuit that pervades and manifests into a human being and guides through the rugged part of one's life. In order to cherish one's objectives, one needs a mentor. And that timeless mentor is the voice of the Krishna. And dialogue in 700 verses, although incorporates few other characters as well, but primarily it is to dissipate. It's about removal of the obstacles, the inner holdings, the shortfalls that otherwise abstain a warrior, a soldier of any time to cherish its objective. The curriculum has been arranged by the master of all times, Vyasa, in a very diligent manner. It starts with the chapter 1. Chapter 1 entails the knowledge and the information about the positive forces and the negative forces that reside within a human being. The moment you traverse into the journey of consciousness, you understand, you unravel within your own self what is the existential aspects of your own existence. Apart from that, there is a conflict-ridden, deluded human being termed as Arjuna. This entire introduction appears by the name and indication of all characters standing amidst the battlefield in the chapter 1. The chapter 2 goes on to detail about the entire constitution of this existence. What exactly is the process and procedure of evolution, how everything evolved, how elements of nature evolve, how human soul evolves, and its relation with the entire cosmic connived dance. All these inputs are given in the chapter 2. Chapter 3 starts with the procedure of human evolution. How could self-development, how could self towards the highest dimensions of excellence, and it starts with the karma yoga. Karma means action, action and action. Yoga must be rightly to one's own communion or a journey within the consciousness. Yoga can be used as a term on different places like Ayurveda to enjoin or to mix certain material, but when it comes to spiritual parlance, yoga merely means one's journey towards evolution, excellence in consciousness, through awareness. So in Karma Yoga, the objective of the master is to teach the procedure to any commoner that how you can excel towards higher standards of excellence by dispensation of your normal and necessary obligations of life. What appears to you as a mundane activity, be it corresponding to your business, job, family, as a citizen, or else, all mundane activities that generally appear to you could be the source of your evolution towards the highest form of excellence. And the fourth chapter, the teacher, in furtherance to the third chapter, embarks upon teaching the incumbent, the seeker, the Arjuna of all times, how to undergo the procedure of Karma Yoga while remaining detached in complete awareness. Awareness has been termed here as a jnana, knowledge. And detachment or renunciation has been termed as sannyas. And action, as we all know, karma. So the name given to the fourth chapter is Jnana Karma Sannyas Yoga. Perform, dispense your necessary obligations with complete awareness and yet in a detached state. Then comes the fifth chapter, the action with renunciation, with inner renunciation. It is called as Karma Sannyas Yoga. It may appear to you that it's a reiteration or slight confusion of the facts, but it's not so. In fact, the teacher wants to evolve the student through reiteration and also by adding some more information. As we all understand, the geography that we study at the third standard or the geography that we study at a graduation level is not different. Rather, we probe deeper into the subjects. The outer constituents remain the same. They don't change. But yes, when we go to higher levels, we try to know more and more and more and more. The knowledge expands. We become more specialized into it. Likewise, it started from Karma Yoga soon after understanding where the cosmos and where the human soul is in relation with each other. When the moment it started with Karma Yoga, the third, fourth and the fifth chapter, they in continuation are evolving the human's insight by reiteration and also by adding some new aspects to the dispensation and learning of human insight. See, the human growth is a subject of human insight. The more you're able to sculpture, modify, reconstitute and absorb at the end of your insight, the more you evolve. So therefore, all these chapters have to be understood a furtherance to the process and procedure of human evolution. Fifth chapter becomes all the more important because in the sixth chapter it is going to be meditation. Yoga, meditation. Generally we understand that meditation is an act of inactivity. Generally people misconstrue and become more vulnerable to idolation. Not ideation, idolation. Idolation may not be a word, but for the purpose to express, we generally have a liberty to coin words. So you need not trace it, its presence into the dictionary, it is coined by me. So idolation, rather idling, should not be taken as the objective of one's life by closing eyes and sitting in a meditational posture. Rather, one must understand meditation is merely one part, one procedure of evolution. One cannot escape. There is no impunity assigned to human being to escape from dispensation of one's necessary obligation. While performing all your mandatory obligations, you have to meditate and evolve. It's therefore that fifth chapter has been categorically brought inside to reiterate certain facts of the third and the fourth chapter, beside teaching one not to perform actions with egocentric attitude, rather to remain more as detached. This in a way serves to get human being more and more excellence in life, for the reason being that the moment you are detached, you are more focused upon your subject. The more you are entangled and engrossed in many things, you do not dispense absolute justice to whatever you are doing at hand. So sannyas has to be taken and viewed from a different aspect. Generally, the renunciation is taken as becoming an ascetic. Here, it's not like becoming any ascetic, rather understanding the deepest essence of it. In the fifth chapter, the first shloka itself is a very weird one. Let me take the Sanskrit part of it, as it says, Sannyasam karmanam Krishna punah yogam cha shansasi yata sheyah etayoha ekam tat me bruhi sunishchitam. The seeker, that is the Arjuna, he is now imposing a very weird question to his mentor, his master Krishna. Now behind this question, Adiguru Shankaracharya had given a mention that in a classroom, different students are present with different kind of a mental frame. Some people truly understand whatever has been propagated by the teacher. Some people misconstrue the essence of whatever has been taught. Some people misunderstand. Some people wrongly understand. And some people do not understand at all. Different minds absorb the same fact in a different manner, or they may even evade to notice it at all. Therefore, it becomes important that through the service of such weird questions, the one who scripted Gita, the source that is Vyas, he is trying to portray the mental frame of a diverse background of students that may be bewildered, confused, wrongly understood, misconstrued, or totally absent by mind while listening to the sermon of the mentor. So, several states of mind have been denoted by a single question. And the question is, Master, tell me, which is more apt for my growth? Is it renunciation of the action altogether, or it is the performing of action? I am into a dichotomy. I am not able to understand it with clarity. What exactly is apt for me? Should I be performing my duties, or should I renounce my obligation and remain in sannyas? This question appears weird because nowhere one has been asked by the mentor to renounce one's necessary obligation. Just because the term sannyas, renunciation, has been mentioned, its true essence, its consonance has not been understood by Arjuna. Therefore, he is asking a very weird question. And this question is an opportunity for the timeless teacher of all times, Vyas, to embark upon this problem with more clarity. In the verses to follow, he would not reprimand the student. You idiot, you didn't gather what exactly I meant. You wrongly understood, misconstrued, whatever. Where were you? You were mentally absent. Instead of doing that reprimanding, he would attend to his insight, that is the student's insight, in a very different fashion. Without denouncing what has been understood by Arjuna, he would rather go on partially endorsing, yet clarifying with a lot of diligence the fact that he wants to convey. This is a beautiful satire of a teacher to teach, not to penetrate into that very soft, subtle and sensitive identity of a student, but trying to handle it with lot of care, lot of affection, and trying to make him travel, which means that instead of bluntly denouncing, trying to act partially foolish, yet trying to resolve the confusion within the mind of the student. Like, for example, if someone would say, falling of an apple, is this gravity? And I want to make you understand that this is not gravity. Gravity, in fact, is that pulls, that draws any matter that is left in the air. It's a power which is embedded into the earth. Now, if you say, no, I understand the falling of the apple alone is gravity, instead of denouncing and saying, you stupid idiot, I would say, according to the Vyasa, he says, yes, this is gravity, but gravity is the falling or the attraction to make that fall happen as well. So, without going as a confrontationist, taking a confrontationist approach with the student, joining the student within his confusion and traveling along to clarify. This is a beautiful way of clarifying things while retaining the identity and dignity of a student, a seeker. So here we were with the first verse and the background of the entire chapters that we have been able to cover. This program is broadcast on every second and last Sunday morning at 9 a.m. We start at 7:30 with the Hindi version and then followed by the English at 9 a.m. We are part of the journey. The journey started long ago when we start with the first chapter of Gita, and 18 total are to be accomplished. We are there to start with the fifth. Join the journey and be together with us on the next program that is going to fall in the new year, that is the second Sunday of January, that falls on 8th of January, morning at 9 a.m. for those who are interested to observe this program in English. Hope to see you again in the same program. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om.